Good morning. It is Wednesday, September the 25th. I'm Todd Duplantis. Welcome to Up to the Minute. We've got your HCC news and information for the next half hour. Some special guests coming your way very shortly, but right now my co-host every Wednesday, Dr. Lana Pagao, out at the Northwest College. Lana, good to see you.
Good morning. It almost feels like fall. Coming in this morning, it was 85 degrees.
Yeah, they say it's going to be in the lower 90s for the next week, maybe some days peaking at upper 80s. So fall is definitely upon us here in Texas. Although, we were talking about it in the studio a few minutes ago, it still feels like summer. I'm sorry, but the past few weeks it felt like summer.
It absolutely does still feel like summer, but 90s and 80s, that's kind of chilly for Houston.
I know. Yeah, we're breaking out. I'll be wearing the sweaters next month. One way or another, I'm wearing sweaters. Down here, the HCCTV studios, it's always cold in here. So you really always need a jacket on so you can get away with it with wearing sweaters here.
Yeah, you just can't be walking out your house wearing a turtleneck. It's cold in the studio.
They look at you weird in July when you're wearing a turtleneck. Yeah. We want to thank everyone watching us this Wednesday morning. We are live at 10 a.m. most weekdays, Mondays through Friday on Facebook Live and YouTube. Lana, they can also catch us in social media, and they can also watch us on our cable channel as well.
Yeah, we are live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page. Don't go looking for HCC. It's Houston Community College District Facebook page. And we're on YouTube. And as you said, we're also on X, LinkedIn, and on HCC TV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Lana, over at the Northwest College, you deal with entrepreneurship, and the Small Business Plan Competition takes place at the West Houston Institute. And this morning for Small Business Wednesday, we're featuring another top winner of the recent HCC Business Plan Competition. Simone Steele is the founder and CEO of Queen Aesthetics, and she's our HCC Business Plan Competition winner for 2024. Good to see you, Simone. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You're glad to have you with us. We're looking forward to hearing all about Queen Aesthetics and your experience with the Small Business Plan Competition. So stick around. We'll be with you very shortly. Okay, we're going to kick things off right now. We've got a special guest joining me in studio. Next week, we have our Employee Significance Awards. And unfortunately, I'm going to be out of town next week, so I won't get a chance to host them as I've done for many years. But Dr. Norma Perez is joining us. She's the Senior Vice Chancellor of Instruction and Student Services, Chief Academic Officer, but you're also going to be celebrating as a 40-year HCC employee next week.
Can you believe that, Todd? Been with HCC for 40 years.
When you first got here, did you ever imagine in your mind that you were going to be here for 40 years?
No, I did not. Actually, when I first started, you know how they asked you at the beginning, do you want to go TRS or do you want to go ORP? I went ORP because my intent was I'm going to be in this institution that long. But as you can see, I'm still here.
Tell us a bit about your history, because I know you've taken a long route to get to Senior Vice Chancellor. Tell us a little bit about your history, where you started, the roles you played, and making it to where you are now.
Well, when I started with Houston Community College, I actually started on a grant that was funded by the Ford Foundation. And the grant was called the Minority Transfer Opportunity Program. Mm-hmm. My job was to identify 100 minority students, 50 African-American students, and 50 Hispanic students to help them transition from Houston Community College to a 4-year university. And so I started out as a program manager / counselor. And in fact, we did a very good job in terms of trying to recruit them and keeping them enrolled. But unfortunately, the grant didn't get funded. So that was my first year. So I thought, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to get a job. But fortunately, I impressed my supervisor at the time, which was Miss Catherine Tyra, and she decided she wanted to keep me on. So she found a position for me, and that's when I started out as the director of foundation of the resource development. And so I worked directly with her. In fact, I was exposed to the foundation at the time because she was also over the foundation in terms of just some external relations as well. And she worked with the outside of the president's office at the time. We had a president's back in 1983, and that was Mr. Whiteley. Mm-hmm. And so I worked under her for several years, and I really, when I started out working with minority students, I realized then that HCC had something to offer, and it definitely had something to offer to minority students. And having been raised in Denver Harbor, and in a family where we had to make ends meet.
Yeah.
You know, my dad worked overtime, so many hours just to be able to put food on the table for a family of 10. And so I knew that I wanted to make a difference in my community, and also being a native Houstonian, having gone through the public school system,
Mhm.
I knew we had issues in that public school system.
Right.
And unfortunately, we still have those issues today. But I know that this is an institution that can really make a difference. And so I stayed and served in various positions throughout my career at Houston Community College. Never did I think I was going to be a senior vice chancellor. But it's been a good ride. I've enjoyed the 40 years, and I'm still enjoying even today, because I know what we do. I know how we change lives, and I know how students come back and tell us the difference that coming to HCC has made to them and to their families. And so that's why I continue to stay. And then, of course, most recently, now we're a level 2 institution.
Yeah.
Never did I think that was going to happen.
Yeah, really.
You know, and here we are now offering a baccalaureate degree. And looking at identifying 3 additional ones to be able to offer. So, you know, these are exciting times for HCC. We just changed over to a new funding formula.
Right.
You know, again, didn't expect that to happen. And so I know we have challenges. And, you know, one of the things that I think that continues to keep me at HCC have been those challenges. You know, being able to take that challenge and, you know, how do we make it work for us?
Yeah.
You know, how do we ensure that we get those results in everything that we do?
When you started, you were talking about working with minority students, but specifically African American and Hispanic. Right now, we are such a cultural institution. We've got more than 100 and something languages being spoken on our campuses with international students. Being focused on those 2 groups when you started, did you ever imagine where we were going to get right now? I mean, you walk on campuses, you might hear Farsi on the table here, Spanish being spoken over here, Vietnamese over here. I mean, that's just the way it is on our campuses.
It is, and I never imagined that. You know, I mean, initially we started out at the high schools.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we didn't even have facilities back in those days, and you know, we had one board, but the board that served both the Houston ISD and served Houston Community College. We were created out of that board.
Right.
I was very fortunate to see the change. In fact, my boss at the time, Ms. Tyra, worked with the legislation at the time, and in fact, I believe it was it may have been John Whitmire that sort of helped with that in terms of getting it passed, the separation of the boards, and HCC then started with their own board. And so again, once that happened, then of course things began to develop for Houston Community College. I've actually served under 8 different leaderships.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the changes having gone through all of those. You know, initially under Dr. Whiteley, he was focused on workforce. That was his thing. That was his area of expertise, and that's where we saw a lot of growth. That he wanted us to really make a difference in the area of workforce. Here we are now, 40 years later. The focus is where? Workforce.
Yeah.
All right. So you know, again, but during that time, there was some focus on academic, and which now, you know, of course we do both. But a lot of the information now that you're hearing is workforce, you know, making sure that our students are prepared for the workforce, and not just our workforce students, but also our academic students,
right,
who get those degrees. So, you know, it's been changing times. I've seen the college go from one institution to the different colleges that we have. You know, that started under the leadership of Dr. Green.
Speaking of leadership, being a leader yourself, what have you learned about leadership, and what would you pass on to students who aspire to follow in your path?
Well, I can tell you that when I first started as in a leadership position, I was a different kind of leader than what you see today.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you that my staff, I think, thought I was too authoritarian, and I was, okay, because again, I was inexperienced. And so, you know, you want to control, and I quickly learned that was not working for me.
Yeah.
And I quickly started changing my leadership style. And today it's very different from what it was back then, but also I'm much more confident because of the experience that I've had, the fact that I've been called upon by the different leadership to take on special assignments. You know, I remember the assignment given to me by Dr. Green when we were having bad publicity on an eligible legalized alien program. And they needed somebody to come in and get it cleaned up and let's get it back on the right track. And so I stepped out of my role as the director of counseling for the district and took on that directorship. And so I was able to really turn it around. And then the board was very pleased with what was going on. And that was right before we became the 6 colleges at the time.
Right.
And so having done that, then I was appointed as the assistant dean of student enrollment, I think it was the title, working for Northeast College at the time. So I started out at North Line Mall, which, as you know, doesn't exist today.
Yeah.
But because of that experience, that chancellor decided to make that appointment, and I served in that role for a while.
Before, we've only got a couple of minutes left, but I wanted to mention something which a lot of people may not know, but I remember it at a board meeting. A few years ago, you gave back to HCC in the form of a scholarship. What did that mean to you? You wanted to give back to the institution, I guess, that did so much for you.
Yes, and I'm still want to give back. I do believe that, yes, like I said, I've had a great experience, great ride at Houston Community College. You know, I've done well in all the areas that I have served, and I want to continue to do that. And I did it to honor my parents. My mom has passed. I still have my dad. My dad actually is 100 years old.
Wow.
And I did it in their name. And part of that is because my mom always wanted to be a teacher. She was a teacher in Mexico, but because of not having the education here, she was not able to serve as a teacher. And so I sort of lived that dream for her because I did start out in education. So I think that it was, again, to honor them and to continue to honor this institution for what it stands for and the impact that we make on lives every day. We're making an impact.
Dr. Norma Perez, she is our Senior Vice Chancellor. It's wonderful having you here with us. We congratulate you on the 40 years. We look forward to celebrating you next week with all the other recipients. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we are going to take a short break. When we return, Lana will have a special guest talking about winner of our HCC Business Plan Competition. Stick around. We'll return in 60 seconds.
When I grow up, I want to work in a lab to build robots.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
Possibilities are all around us. Together, we can make real change happen. We're Rotary. We are people of action. Get involved today at rotary.org/action.
I'm a first-generation Filipino American. You don't always feel you're a part of the country you live in. It's this weird middle space sometimes that you have to live inside of. But when you meet others that are also living in that space, you'll learn to know that it's its own unique space too.
We're back with Simone Steele, founder and CEO of Queen Aesthetics and one of HCC's 2024 Business Plan Competition winners. Welcome to the show, Simone.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Lana. How are you?
I am good, thank you. Well, let's start off with you giving us a brief description of Simply Shady, which I believe is a product line in your existing company, right?
Yes, definitely. So Simply Shady is a mineral-based tinted moisturizing sunscreen that corrects and protects. I noticed the gap of sunscreen options for all skin tones, especially darker skin tones. So I decided to formulate one. And so Simply Shady caters to all skin tones from the lightest to the darkest.
You know, I wear sunscreen every morning, and you are right. It does leave this kind of haze on your face, unless you use that tinted one that might match your complexion. So Queen Aesthetics is a med spa that provides luxury specialty services, correct?
Correct. So Queen Aesthetics is a Houston-based med spa. I am a plastics and dermatology physician assistant, and so we offer minimally invasive treatments like Botox, fillers, skincare, in order to kind of tailor to your skin and your wellness from the inside out.
Oh, I'm all about a med spa, I can tell you.
Me too.
So tell us about your journey into entrepreneurship.
So honestly, grew up in Houston, Texas. I was number 3 of 8 children, but I was the first in my family to go to college on a full basketball scholarship at that. I majored in biochemistry, but my passion for healthcare really began when I shadowed a physician assistant. My baby sister was premature, so a physician assistant would actually come to our home and check on her, which I thought was beautiful. So I went to PA school, and then I started surgery right out of PA school at Texas Children's Hospital. Then I kind of transitioned to like plastic surgery where I witnessed firsthand just the power of transformation. And I love that, yeah, there was a surgical option, but I knew that I had the artistry and the background to want to do more. So I started to get into injectables and just trying to treat people holistically without the need for surgical intervention.
Yeah, artistry is a good word to describe aesthetics. So tell us more about your philosophy regarding surgery.
Yeah, honestly, I absolutely love surgery. Cosmetic, surgery can help in so many instances, from life-threatening things to cosmetic procedures. So I think that it's beautiful that people want to, change themselves or make themselves better. But again, from a surgical aspect, there poses a lot of risk. So having a non-surgical option, especially for beauty and enhancement from the neck up, is a great thing to have.
So you say you found there's a gap in the market that led you to launch Simply Shady, and you recently held your grand opening. Tell us about that.
My grand opening for Simply Shady was 3 weeks ago, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Again, that gap in the market is a big thing of my creation, but we were able to have over 150 people come out on a Thursday night to help us celebrate the launch of such a innovative product that's going to transcend skincare, surgery, and all on the market. So the launch was beautiful. I had this huge skin diagram in the middle of the floor so people can understand the layers of the skin, why you need sunscreen, the mineral versus chemical sunscreens, and basically telling you all about the product in itself while giving you like feeling, when you feel good about something, it makes you want to use it.
Yeah, a market that I think you should look into is men. Because my son plays soccer and he never puts his sunscreen on and he comes back all red-faced, and my husband will go out to races and the same thing. I always try to encourage them to put sunscreen on, but they never do. Anyway, tell us
I
about,
agree.
yeah,
Men are the
I think it's a
hardest to
great market.
convert, and they need it, but once they convert, they'll be loyal. But
Absolutely.
we have a clear sunscreen specifically for men that goes on clear, it's untinted, and it provides the same great protection.
That's awesome. So tell us about your experience with the HCC Business Plan Competition and its support system.
The HCC Business Plan Competition was extremely beneficial. I learned about the competition through my SCORE mentor in a newsletter, but I needed a solid plan to take my business from more services to products. So Queen Aesthetics is service-based, and now bringing on a product, I needed to kind of understand the nuances of what that looked like. So participating in the competition really allowed me to build like this ironclad business strategy. I'm grateful for that community, that mentorship that I received from my advisors. I had an advisor named Leanne who was in marketing. She had great marketing insights. And then I had a provider named Alejandro, and he helped me secure like funding, finances. It was amazing. And they played key roles in helping me navigate the business and how to grow Simply Shady. So I'm super thankful for the business plan competition because I wouldn't have access to those people otherwise.
So tell us what's next for you.
Honestly, I'm going to continue to implement our growth plan that I created in the competition. I'm also interested in doing the HCC Mattress Max School of Selling. I'm going to go there tonight. I'm super excited about that. I'm going to apply for the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. So prayerfully we can get there. And then beyond business, I'm really just focused on growing in every aspect of life, family building. I want to lift as I climb. So being able to give back, I would love to be a part of the business plan competition as a judge or something in that nature to give back to the competition that really helped me a lot. And then just continue to support community over competition and what that looks like from a business standpoint. And then just growing my business personally from the injectables as well as the product.
Well, I love that you're not done yet. That's really awesome. Thank you, Simone Steele, founder and CEO of Queen Aesthetics and one of HCC's 2024 Business Plan Competition winners. We'll have your info on our post after the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And coming up after a quick commercial break, Todd and I will return with some news and announcements.
At HCC, your dreams are within reach.
When I grow up, I want to work at the hospital. When I grow up, I want to work in a lab to build robots. When I grow up, I want to work at a school and be a teacher.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid
knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Welcome back to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we've got a few announcements to go over before we wrap up today's show. A few of these events are happening today, in fact, this morning or this afternoon. One of them is underway right now. Wonderful Wednesdays over at HCC Southeast Campus. If you are looking for a job, you need to head on down there. Students on the job market can meet with employers hiring for full and part-time positions every Wednesday. This recurring event aims to facilitate the opportunity to explore job prospects and discover new career path days. Go out there. You might walk out with a job. 10 a.m. underway right now to 1 p.m. At HCC's Eastside Campus Student Life Building. Check our post after the show for more information. Another event happening today, Lana, is a lunch and learn.
Yeah, HCC is hosting a series of We Care and Mosaic and Me lunch and learn sessions. These are a great opportunity to connect, learn, and support the Caring Campus initiative. And there are giveaways. So it is today, all day noon to 1 p.m. And the next one is today. At District, and tomorrow at the Central Learning Hub. And we'll have information on how to register in our post after the show.
And I would imagine they'll have lunch there since it's a lunch and learn. So check that out as well. Swoop Leadership Workshops. HCC Student Life is presenting a series of workshops to help students learn about leadership. Up next is Leadership Styles and Philosophy with Adalia Espinoza. 10:30 a.m. to noon, Friday, September 27th. That's this Friday. It's at HCC's Eastside Student Life Center. Check our post after the show for more information. And it's also American Sign Language Week, and there's a concert coming up.
That's right. HCC Central is celebrating deaf success and honoring the deaf community every day this week. And it will be capped off with American Sign Language concert from 7 to 9 p.m. in the Heinen Theater Central on the Central College campus. And information is on our post after the show.
There's a number of art exhibitions happening across the district, and HCC Northwest is currently featuring the works of Justin Vamer in Hair of the Bird, which is on view at the Spring Branch Gallery. An artist reception will be held in October. The exhibition runs through November 1st. It's at the HCC Spring Branch campus. Check our post for more information. And Lana, I know fall registration, well, the fall semester is underway, but you can still register for classes to end at the end of the semester.
That's right. Registration for the fall semester is now open, with second start and smaller semesters offered in a variety of programs. HCC's courses are offered in a range of modalities, including online anytime, online on a schedule, hybrid in-person, and hybrid labs. And to learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and options to cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
So tomorrow on the show, we'll continuing celebrating our long-term employees. Next up, Dr. Diana Castillo of Coleman College. She'll be joining us here. And for Thursday Family Fun Day, we'll be talking about the hummingbirds with Brazos Bend State Park. Tomorrow, Sade will be here along with Linda Davis. They'll be hosting the show. Lana, always good to see you on Wednesdays. Thanks for being here today.
Always a pleasure, Todd. Thank you.
All right, and we will see y'all tomorrow live, 10 a.m. with Up to the Minute.